토마토 축제가 한창인 스페인의 분율.
And with approximately 140 tons of overripened tomatoes, La Tomatina remains the world's greatest annual food fight. Throwing it back to you at the studio, we'll catch up later.
That was painful.
You know, boss, you don't need to give a fake broadcast. You know we're on a mission, right?
Okay, easy.
축제의 열기 속 기자로 위장한 MI6와 CIA 요원들이 숨어 있습니다.
I can definitively say that was not funny.
Grey hat and jacket, pink shirt, heading southwest. Matching the target's description.
Walk faces and run it.
그들은 러시아 무기상 그라도프를 체포하기 위해 잠복 중이었죠.
But I can't confirm it's Gradov.
Cho, you got anything?
No go for facial recognition.
Wait, I think I'm staring right at him. 20 feet from me, right below you, Coop.
Guys, we got 2 potential Gradovs on site. 3.
그런데 그라도프와 닮은 인물들이 여럿 나타나기 시작합니다.
Talk to me, home base.
We'd have to request a patch to Echelon.
Then request the patch.
글로벌 감시망 에셜론 시스템 접속을 요청합니다.
We have a request for a real-time patch. It's a joint MI6 CIA capture of a high-value target. Russian arms dealer Viktor Gradov.
Field, you're authorized for a 60-second link to Echelon service.
All the time I need to pin the real Gradov.
What are you?
하지만 그 순간
Field team, abort! We've been set up!
매복 중이던 그라도프의 부하들이 먼저 공격을 시작합니다. 순식간에 요원들을 모두 잃게 된 노엘. 이어 그라도프의 부하들은 에셜론 시스템 해킹을 시도합니다.
Don't move! Drop it.
그때 결국 노엘마저 제압당하면서 그라도프 검거 작전은 실패로 끝나버립니다. 한편 영국의 런던. 잠에서 깨어난 영국 총리 샘 클라크.
U.S. President Will Derringer. Derringer has stopped in the UK for a brief visit before he heads to a NATO summit in Italy.
The President will be attending a press conference with the increasingly embattled Prime Minister Sam Clarke, now serving his 6th year in office.
Good morning, Mr. Prime Minister. Here's your brief for Thursday the 29th. Your early morning meetings have been cleared for an urgent briefing on the classified intelligence op in Spain that ended in tragedy. 7 CIA and MI6 operatives have been killed.
그는 그라도프 검거 작전이 실패했다는 보고를 받게 됩니다. 다음 날 버킹엄 궁전.
What time's the lecture, Cambridge?
Not till 4. Enjoy this. Use it as a bonding opportunity with the Prime Minister.
Please.
전직 액션 배우 출신의 신임 미국 대통령 윌 데린저.
Did you look over your speech?
Yeah, it's solid.
그는 영국 총리 샘과의 첫 회담을 앞두고 있었습니다.
Sideways up, Spain.
Who was the target?
Viktor Gradov, Russian-born arms dealer turned extremist.
Spain was our first chance to move on Gradov in 2 years. NSA is scraping border entries and airport screenings for noise.
Bloody hell, how many times have I got to say we do not leapfrog intel?
We should warn Clark's team about Jack Gordon. Jack always goes for the jugular, and he will fry us over this Spain thing.
You to tell the president's comms director that he must stick to the script.
Yes?
Good. Hopefully he doesn't start writing checks that we can't cash.
하지만 두 사람은 서로를 탐탁지 않게 여기고 있었습니다.
Mr. Prime Minister.
Mr. President.
Yeah. We finally meet. Listen, about this terrible situation in Spain. If it comes up out there, I'd Just steer clear of it. Let's just punt it.
To where?
Till later. Today's about NATO. Do us both a favor out there. No questions from Jack Gordon. My guy.
곧이어 시작된 공동 기자회견.
Energy security is national security.
It is also an investment in job creation. A whole lot of jobs.
Okay. Question.
Prime Minister Clark,
Yes.
the Daily Mail have photos of the Duchess in a new bow. Any comments about your ex-girlfriend's latest escapades?
Okay. Who has a real question?
Hey, hold on a minute. Now, who else is tired of seeing the Prime Minister as a single man? I'll tell you what. How about we get him his own season of The Bachelor?
Jack Gordon.
There are 6 dead British and Americans in Spain this morning. Can you comment on speculation? This is the result of a failed covert operation to capture known arms dealer Viktor Gradov.
Covert operations are covert for a reason.
And Gradov's gonna wish we caught him yesterday.
두 사람은 감정을 숨기지 못한 채 공개적으로 충돌하게 됩니다.
We have the tools, and we have the technology to find and destroy them if they challenge us.
We aren't making any promises except that we will work tirelessly to get results.
But we are. The United States of America is promising results.
결국 두 정상의 불화가 전 세계에 공개되고 말았고.
Well, that was a shitbath.
Socials are lighting up. Hashtag Commanders in Beef is trending.
God damn it! You knew Jack Gordon was trouble. I warned you.
You know, I'm not afraid of the press. Not all of us have a compulsive need to be liked by everyone.
기자회견이 끝난 뒤에도 신경전은 계속 이어집니다.
Unlike you, I'll take results over likes on Instagram.
Enough. Neither of you at your best today.
Agreed. We need to give this a short shelf life.
이후 각자의 보좌관들은 양국 간의 갈등을 잠재우기 위한 방안을 제시합니다.
I've got it. You fly to Trieste together on Air Force One.
두 정상이 함께 에어포스 원을 타고 나토 정상회의에 함께 참석할 것.
Would you do me the honor and fly with me aboard Air Force One? Fellas?
비행기가 이륙하자 보고서를 읽으며 사건을 되짚어보는 샘. 실종된 노엘의 사진을 보며 착잡한 표정을 짓습니다. 그때 기내에선 수상한 움직임이 시작되고 있었습니다. 요리사로 위장한 그라도프의 수하가 상황실로 향합니다.
Don't tell the captain I snuck you a stash.
Thanks.
그는 에어포스원의 기밀 위치를 외부로 전송합니다.
Move to intercept.
그리고 잠시 후 그라도프의 군용기가 접근하기 시작합니다.
Just know, once this honeymoon period is over, there is only disappointment in your future. Because this job, my job, is about suffering.
그 시각 이러한 사실을 전혀 알지 못한 윌과 샘.
Not all of us have some posh Cambridge mafia in Parliament helping us get elected.
I busted my ass to get to where I am. I was born on a housing estate and was never given anything on a silver platter. So yes, mate, when I see you play the role of president, it makes me sick to my stomach because you know you're lying.
두 사람의 언쟁이 격해지는 그때
What's that?
You heard what I said.
No, what's that?
Sirs, secure yourselves in the office.
무언가 이상함을 감지합니다.
What's happening? Unidentified aircraft. You're in restricted airspace. Pull away immediately or you will be fired upon. Ready the weapons. Yes, sir.
Oh shit.
에어포스원을 조준한 공격 드론들. 하필이면 대통령 근처에 암살자까지 다가온 상황.
Gentlemen.
적의 공격이 이어지고
Mr. President, sir!
What the hell's going on?
You gotta get to the back of the plane, go!
무차별적인 폭격이 시작됩니다.
Stop shooting the drones! Shoot the goddamn plane! Initiating emergency descent to 10,000 for cabin pressure stabilization. Let's go! There are parachutes in the back! Here comes another wave.
엔진이 폭발하며 기체는 통제력을 잃습니다.
Lost engine 2. It'll lead into it. Come on, we gotta jump. Closer, move. Let's move! Quick! These two should be intact! Shit! Going down to Belarusian airspace! You'll need to get to our safe house in Poland! What about all these people? We all have our jobs to do! Yours is to survive! Get to Golden Mountain Mining Company under the Gdański Bridge in Warsaw! It's been an honor, Mr. President!
다른 이들의 희생으로 무사히 낙하산을 타고 탈출하는 두 사람. 벨라루스 어딘가에 불시착하게 됩니다.
How the hell did they get on my plane? With the help of someone on the inside, that's for sure. The Polish border's about 15 miles that way. On foot, we can be at that safe house by morning. Whoa, 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 what are you doing?
Call my wife. I'm letting her know I'm alive.
No, no phones, all right? In history, so you have to assume whoever wants you dead is listening to communications, okay?
And we should let the world know we're okay.
Down! You all right back there, Derringer?
Fine.
Hearing a lot of panting and snuffling.
I don't snuffle, okay?
Nothing to be embarrassed about.
Dear God.
Think he's had the day off.
잠시 후 두 사람은 처참한 잔해를 바라봅니다.
Who the hell did this?
Right now, we've got to get home alive. That's our job.
No, our real job is to find out who did this and make him pay.
We have just received devastating footage of Air Force One going down over western Belarus.
이후 에어포스 원의 추락 소식이 대대적으로 보도됩니다.
President William Derringer, Prime Minister Samuel Clark are presumed dead.
Where gathering NATO leaders are offering their condolences and unyielding solidarity.
사람들은 윌과 샘이 사망한 것으로 추정합니다. 한편 부통령 커크는 에셜론 사용 권한을 부여받습니다.
Echelon is standing by for system security update.
Please. This is Kirk.
This is Echelon Director Adams. Please confirm voice print and retinal scan.
Alpha, Echo, Bravo, Alpha, Charlie, Zulu, Tango.
Voice print confirmed. Biometrics confirmed.
They're rebooting the system.
하지만 그 순간
Almost there.
Someone's inside the system.
We are now in control of Echelon.
그라도프가 시스템을 해킹해 에셜론의 통제권을 빼앗아 버립니다.
Now we're talking. Here's our ride to Warsaw.
같은 시각 벨라루스.
I can't just walk down and ask him for a lift.
I'd agree with you, but you're wrong. We can.
What part of keep our heads down don't you understand?
You got a better idea?
Yeah, I do. I said we move fast, creep along that tree line, and hotwire that car over there.
세워진 차량 한 대를 훔쳐 이동하려 하지만
Come on, come on. Yeah, there he is. Oh no.
I'm going to talk to him. They'll give us a ride.
No. You're gonna start this car, and we're gonna get out of here.
Trust me, I pull really well with young men who drink beer.
You literally don't speak their language.
Hey, fellas, how's it going?
하필이면 양아치들에게 들켜버립니다.
It's me, Will Derringer. Water Cobra. Still nothing. That's enough!
Don't.
결국 무기까지 꺼내들며 두 사람을 향해 달려듭니다. 그때
А ну по домам, кретины недоделанные!
한 여성이 총을 들고 나타나 양아치 무리를 쫓아내버립니다.
Where you go?
Across the border to Warsaw.
I take you.
I'll be dead and gone.
그녀의 도움으로 바르샤바까지 향하는 차량을 얻어 타게 됩니다.
The great sail, boy, all around us. Down.
국경에 가까워질수록 검문을 받게 되는데 숨죽이며 이 순간이 지나가길 기다리던 그때
When up on the mountain,
무사히 검문소를 빠져나갑니다.
on my shoulder,
마침내 안전가옥이 있는 바르샤바에 도착한 두 정상.
Thank you.
It was my pleasure. Mr. President, good luck to both of you.
윌과 샘은 서둘러 안전가옥으로 향합니다.
We've just buzzed in. 2 guests. With all due respect, and we kept our footprint tight, so who cares if they live?
They died because I say they died.
이때 에셜론을 통해 두 사람의 위치를 파악한 그라도프.
Awesome, let's go!
그 사실을 모르는 두 정상.
You're alive.
Oh, okay. Hey.
I'm sorry. Marty Coomer.
Oh, well.
안전가옥 요원 마티와 마주하게 됩니다.
Sam Clark, British Prime Minister. Can we come in?
Yeah, right this way. Follow me, gentlemen. Your timing's great. Echelon servers were infiltrated.
2 hours ago, a trench of classified documents were leaked, exposing decades of covert activity amongst NATO members.
마티는 에셜론이 해킹당했다는 사실을 알리고
How many files are we talking about?
20,000 and counting. It's the most damaging leak of state secrets in history.
Someone is using Echelon to tear at the very fabric of NATO.
Is that normal?
No.
곧이어 그라도프의 수하들이 안전가옥을 급습합니다.
Somebody really wants us dead.
That feel safe enough for you?
Not in the movies now, son.
세 사람은 무기를 장착하고 전면전을 준비합니다.
Okay, listen up. I'll get you guys out of here, but just in case things do go south, best to beat a retreat through the secondary exit.
마티는 함정을 설치해 적의 습격을 미리 대비합니다. CCTV로 위치를 확인하며 반격을 시작하는 마티.
That boy's a nutter.
Maybe, but he's America's nutter.
Let's move.
하지만 얼마 못 가 위기에 빠지고 마는데
Get out of here. Go!
궁지에 몰려 자신을 희생하려는 마티. 결국 총에 맞아 목숨을 잃게 된 마티.
No, no, this way. He said right. Found the poster. Punch it. You're ripping it off. Come on. Forgive me.
비상 탈출구를 통해 탈출을 시도하는 두 사람. 가까스로 적을 따돌리며 안전가옥을 벗어납니다.
Drop your guns! We have them.
하지만 대기하고 있던 적들과 마주하게 됩니다. 그때 경찰차 한 대가 돌진해 오는데
Well?
Sam?
I thought you were dead.
I thought you were dead.
You two know each other?
We worked together back in the day. How'd you find us?
운전자의 정체는 스페인 사건에서 사망한 줄 알았던 노엘.
Long story.
Hey, where's your backup?
There is no backup. I've been trailing Gradov since Spain.
So you're saying this is all payback because we stopped him building nukes?
Gradov wasn't building a nuke.
But he was a weapons developer.
He was, but his son wasn't.
Yeah, what's his son got to do with it?
His son was a scientist. He was on the brink of onlining the first ever nuclear reactor incapable of melting down.
The pebble bed technology.
He was close. He still needed the enriched plutonium which his father procured from the black market. Echelon picked up on that transaction, and of course we assumed it was to build a weapon. Gradov's son was amongst the dead. The operation was sanctioned by NATO.
사실 미국이 핵 개발을 의심해 그라도프의 아들과 연구소를 폭격했던 것이었습니다.
Get back.
So he took his son's life and then his legacy, huh?
Which we're about to take a big victory lap for in Trieste.
Gradov's son didn't die because of us. He died because he's the son of the devil.
Gradov couldn't have done all this without top-level security clearance.
Okay, so then the question is, who was Gradov working with on the inside?
Gotta start with the guy who put us both in that plane.
문제는 내부에 그라도프와 내통하는 고위 인사가 있다는 것.
Quincy.
자신의 비서인 퀸시를 의심하는 샘.
Safe house was hit in Warsaw. What are you thinking? We have to consider the possibility.
Did you
that
not see what we all saw? They went down with Air Force One.
None of us should be.
Right now, the key is getting to Trieste.
How far away is the U.S. Embassy from here? They can help us.
We're not going to the embassy.
나토 회담이 열리는 트리에스테를 목적지로 정한 세 사람.
We have to presume that all high command posts are compromised.
Listen, I'm the commander-in-chief.
Okay, respectfully, sir, no, you're not. The vice president was sworn in a few hours ago. And now my package, my mission. And my mission is to deliver you alive to the most secure location on this continent.
이들은 노엘의 안내를 따라 움직이기로 합니다.
Pun this time not intended!
I died in that plane crash and this is hell!
하지만 이미 그라도프의 감시망 안에 있었죠. 잠시 후 샘은 노엘에게 대화를 시도하고
About your team in Spain.
We've all lost a lot.
An explanation for disappearing after Tripoli.
What happened in Tripoli?
None of your business.
First of all, you didn't disappear in Tripoli. You appeared everywhere. You were on TV, newspapers, social
I was
media.
running for office.
You were running away.
We ran away from love.
Stay in your lane. Would have been together.
We couldn't have been together.
You two did a little more than work together back in the day, huh? Hey, why'd you guys split up?
과거 두 사람이 연인 사이였음이 드러납니다.
It's where I told her that I wanted to run for office. Are you happy now?
Why'd you want to run for office, Sam?
Because I wanted to build a better world for her and I to grow old in together.
The most romantic goddamn thing I've ever heard.
그런데 그때
Shit!
Whoa, we can talk this out.
그라도프의 수하와 함께 야서가 들이닥칩니다.
Voice, but there's no more talking.
강요된 삶에 지쳐있던 아서
Didn't see that coming.
그라도프를 배신합니다.
Drop it.
Oh, hey, don't shoot him.
We need to hear him out.
All I wanted to do was live my days out in peace, but Gradov found me. Put his claws into me, made me do things I never wanted to do. I know you figured out there's an insider working at the highest levels of government, and no, I don't know who the insider is.
Then how do we find out who this insider is?
Through Gradov Secure Communications. They'll have a team waiting at the next station to kill you.
Great.
Get to 12 Lavaska Street in Zadar. There's a secure terminal there on the 5th floor. This prompt will run a program I designed to trace communications and with anyone carrying compartmented security clearance. You'll find the insider.
평화롭게 살고 싶던 그는 이들에게 도움을 주며 숨을 거두게 됩니다.
But you know what? We got this, okay?
So you'd rather jump off a train that's going 40 miles an hour?
We've been taking this on the chin for way too long, and I'm done with being on the defense.
Just tuck your chin to your chest.
Sure that's gonna make a difference?
Trust me.
결국 기차에서 뛰어내린 세 사람. 곧이어 세 사람은 아서의 은신처로 향합니다.
Jeez, Hammond didn't have an incredibly sexy tasting hideouts, huh? What for?
Fifth. There's nothing here.
Hammond, that lying son of a bitch.
Led us to a dead end.
He didn't.
Nice.
Do you hear that?
하지만 그라도프의 수하들이 또다시 이들을 추적해옵니다.
That does not look like the cavalry.
Lock yourselves in the safe room. I'm gonna go handle this.
No. You're the only one that can get the intel off the server. I'll hold him off.
I just don't want you dying on my watch.
Just go.
You're coming with me. I need your hand.
시간을 벌기 위해 적들을 상대하는 샘. 한편 애셜론의 접속 기록을 조회하는 노엘.
Oh, shit.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's holding him off, but we need to go.
That boy. What's the blood, Bartley? I got the insider.
Yeah, it's Quincy.
It's Bradshaw.
Tell me where it says that.
There are dozens of communications between her and Gradoff going back almost 18 months. Her digital fingerprints are all over this.
그 내통자의 정체는 바로 미국의 비서실장인 브래드쇼. 그런데 이때 헬기가 나타나 이들을 위협하기 시작합니다. 순식간에 위기에 몰린 두 사람. 샘은 그라도프에 의해 폭발에 휘말리게 됩니다.
We need to get out of this box. You see that roof? Yeah. Get as low as you can, okay?
간신히 탈출해 가까스로 살아남은 노엘과 윌.
It's handled.
그라도프는 수상한 낌새를 느끼기 시작합니다.
She paid you extra to clean up loose ends, didn't she? And I'm the loose end.
그 시각 안전한 곳으로 이동하는 두 사람.
With a vote on the future of NATO set 30 minutes from now and with
다음 날 아침 나토의 해산을 결정짓는 투표까지 남은 시간은 30분.
Yes?
Thanks for keeping my seat warm.
Will? How did you?
윌은 커크에게 전화를 걸어 자신이 살아있는 것을 알립니다.
I'll hold off the NATO vote as long as I can and just get here. Safe.
Mr. President, you sure are safe for sore eyes.
커크가 보낸 차를 타고 귀환하려 하지만 진짜 내통자는 부통령 커크였습니다.
Take them to the rally point and do your job. Don't disappoint me again.
It wasn't Bradshaw. It's Kirk.
Georgi взяла. Не дай добраться им до НАТО.
But Bradshaw's communications were typed to Gradoff.
Bradshaw was a decoy. Kirk covered her tracks.
You have your contingencies. I have mine.
반격하는 노엘과 윌. 이때 커크에게 복수하려는 그라도프의 수하들이 등장합니다.
Take the wheel!
위기의 순간 폭발에서 살아남은 샘이 나타나 윌과 노엘을 구합니다.
Sam? Sam?
How are you alive?
I just kept calm and carried on. Help out, I got this.
Open the door!
뒤이어 치열한 추격전이 벌어지죠.
Where are we going?
I got you. Don't go dying on me a third time, okay? Watch it!
Take this, you bloody bastard!
That's the beast.
It's the beast! He's got a rocket launcher!
Sam, incoming!
그들의 추격을 가까스로 따돌리고 겨우 회담장에 도착한 세 사람.
You have now reached your destination.
It's with a heavy heart, despite my most strident efforts to hold this alliance together, I withdraw our...
Hold it right there! You're not getting rid of us that easy.
We are not getting rid of this alliance that easy because we all...
There it is. The inevitable conclusion. The people elect a dopey actor as leader of the free world. Of course their country can't survive. These are all false alliances anyway.
False alliances. That's something you know a lot about.
커크의 만행을 폭로했고 또한 나토의 해체를 막기 위한 그 순간
Kill them all.
그라도프가 등장합니다.
Everybody down!
순식간에 아수라장이 돼버린 회담장.
Deal with her.
노엘은 적들과 싸우며 그라도프에게 돌진합니다.
Guys, come on, we gotta go.
하지만 노엘을 두고 갈 수 없었던 두 사람.
Get Kratos! I got this guy.
그라도프를 쫓는 샘과 윌.
Good to go? It's gotta be in there somewhere.
Drop it.
There's nowhere to go. It's over.
Not for me.
We're gonna let him get away?
결국 두 사람은 마지막 작전을 개시합니다.
We go on three? Three!
But I'm falling in love. Shall if I tell with like surely to the sun. Take my hand.
윌이 조각상을 던지고 헬기가 추락하면서 그라도프는 최후를 맞이합니다. 두 달 후
The alliance is making hopeful strides in rebuilding trust.
이들의 활약으로 나토 내부 관계가 회복됩니다.
Here you go.
Cheers.
Nice. You two gonna rekindle?
I don't know.
Talk her out of the cons and into the pros. Maybe she'll come around.
Before I forget, 2 tickets to meet and greet with Harry Styles in DC.
It's official. You are now the coolest Uncle Sam I know.
이제는 절친한 친구가 된 두 사람.
You guys, you got ketchup?
We do vinegar.
Well, when you come to the Oval Office, we're doing ketchup.
그런 두 사람의 모습을 보여주며 영화 국가원수는 막을 내립니다.